Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of SportsPoint, brought to you by Pointer Studios. I am your host, Jacob Spoerl. Joined here to my right, we got the return of Brett McNamara, officially back from the dead. Brett, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Jacob. I'm glad to be back on the show. It's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited. We're glad to see you back last time on the show. We got producer Liam Sheen in the house, and, according to him, you had died, so... you're back from the dead during the spooky season. Yeah. We're almost to Halloween, but we're not talking about Halloween. We're talking about sports, and a very mixed week of sports, I'd say. Obviously, the Packers got a big dub in AZ, a big win in Arizona, another very stressful game for Green Bay. However, it's unfortunate, but the Brewers are out. It sucks. It's just proof that in life, not everything is perfect, just most things.
Yeah, it was pretty sad. It was just the games. They're just disappointing, every single one of them. There's not one exciting thing that happened.
The grand slam saving play from Salfree.
That was exciting.
That was crazy.
And then the Jackson Churio home run was pretty much
that was fun.
And then that was it.
Obviously, some of the stuff is not always super exciting, but overall, we'll talk about it in the Brewers section. But still, a very fantastic and memorable regular season. Obviously, the postseason didn't end the way we wanted, but we still own the Cubs, so that's pretty awesome. But we'll actually get it started here with the first segment of the show, the Crowning Champion segment. And my crowning champion for this week, number uno, Micah Parsons. He had 3 sacks on the day against Arizona. It would have been 4 without the hip drop tackle penalty. He also had 5 quarterback hits, 4 tackles for losses. Micah Parsons slander, I'm glad that's quickly fizzling away because he had more sacks in that one game than he did in the first 5 games, whatever, all the other games that they played. He had 2.5 sacks of the season heading into this one. So the fact that he got 3, it just proves that, man, he was worth every single penny. Brett, who is your crowning champion for this week?
So it was originally going to be a football player. I was kind of deciding on the two, but I completely forgot the amazing performance Shohei Ohtani had. So Shohei Ohtani is going to be my crowning champion. I feel like it's valid.
No, He
pitched in 6 innings. He threw 10 strikeouts and only gave up 2 hits, 3 walks, and then on top of that, he had 3 home runs, all solo shots, but... Yeah, he was insane in that.
It was 3 of their 5 runs, right?
Oh, yeah. He was 3 of the 5 runs. Yes, he played great in that game 4, advancing the Dodgers to the World Series. So, yeah, Shohei Ohtani is my crowning champion. I know.
As much as I don't like the Dodgers and I don't like Shohei, I mean, it's pretty much kind of undisputed right now that might have been the single greatest playoff performance ever in Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and it's just crazy that he's doing it from both sides, defensively and offensively.
I think that's part of the reason why people are considering it like that. But anyways, so that is all for the Crowning Champion segment. That'll move us on to the 3-point Tri-Campus Roundup. Brett, it's good that you finally arrived because you came just in time for a brand new flavor of the month, Point Premium Orange Cream. I'm going to hand you one ice cold, man. Made with 100% real sugar, Point Premium Orange Cream is handcrafted in small batches with the purest water, fresh orange, all-natural vanilla, and genuine Wisconsin honey. This creamy blend creates a classic, rich, and creamy taste. True gourmet at its finest. Did you crack it open?
I did not.
3, 2. That's almost the same. Oh, that's pretty close. Get the smoke. Probably can't catch on. Hold on. Awkward moment. Let's drink.
Good smell.
Oh, yeah.
That one always hits.
Yeah, I mean, I like the root beer, but, this one's my favorite. Going in for seconds. All right, I'm going to go first.
I'm shedding tears over here.
Shedding tears?
It's great.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know why I said it like that. My first sport I'm going to talk about is UWSP women's soccer. So on the season, women's soccer, they're 5-4-7. That's insane that they've had 7 ties. And speaking of 7 ties, their last 3 games have all resulted in ties, all of which in the WIAC Conference. The last game that they played as of recording on Monday the 20th, their last game was October 18th, Saturday, at River Falls, where they tied 0-0, so no scores on the board. They tied with Whitewater, though, the week prior. 2-2. And then earlier in that week, on October 8th, on a Wednesday, they also tied Oshkosh 0-0. So a lot of ties around the board. But they did very successful in non-conference play. They beat schools like St. Mary's University out of Minnesota and Wartburg College as well. But it's still pretty cool to see. And technically, even though it's a crazy record, 5-4-7, they're still above 500 as a team, and they haven't won a conference game yet. But they have plenty of matchups down the road. This Wednesday, after the game would have already happened by the time the episode comes out, they're playing Eau Claire. This weekend on Saturday, they're playing Platteville. So a lot of games left to be played, but got to give a shout-out to Cass Klitsky, who leads the team in goals with 8. That is a great moniker to have. That's all I've got for my school sport. Brett, who do you have?
I was originally going to do – I'm changing a lot of things.
You're switching a lot.
I know. I want to talk about football. I really do. Yeah, I feel like we have to.
We did broadcast it this weekend.
We did on Saturday. The Pointers ended up facing the UW River Falls Cardinals. Falcons. Lost that one 52-7. I know the score doesn't look like anything great. Excuse me.
Oh, you got the classic Point Brewery burps. They cut me off all the time.
They do. But yes, they didn't play that bad. Honestly, I feel like going into that one, you knew it was going to be a loss to River Falls. But, I mean, looking at the individual performances, I mean, especially from, the wide receivers, they really turned it up. They really did.
Yeah.
They changed it around.
And we checked.
And I think looking at Charlie Smith's stats, yes, he had 3 interceptions, but I feel like 2 of them weren't really his fault. The reason I kind of want to talk about them is because there's a lot of things they could be doing better. And I feel like they're, like I've mentioned before, they're on the uprise. They have a lot of talent and potential, but I feel like they're just not maximizing where they could be at right now.
Yeah.
I feel like that first 3 games, it looks like, okay, yeah, this team actually could win, a game in the WIAC this year, but now it just looks like the Badgers of this year. So the only reason I want to talk about them is because I feel like offensively they need to throw the ball a lot more. Yeah. I feel like running-wise, yes, you're trying to – Bryson Cashin, he's a great running back. But you look at the attempts. He had 13 attempts for 32 yards. Your second leading rusher was Charlie Smith, but then after that, you barely used Reed Smith anymore.
And Zach Lynch being hurt definitely affects that backfield.
Exactly. Yeah. And just the way that they performed, the wide receivers, that's why I mentioned them, is, yes, they didn't have a great game the weekend prior against the Warhawks, but this week against probably a better team in the River Falls Falcons, I think that they just need to pass more, and then defensively, they just need to not put so many pass rushers down, I guess. Yeah. That's the reason I wanted to bring up football, is because I feel like there's a lot of things they can fix, and there's a lot of things that could be better.
We speak what we're passionate about here. So.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously, the WIAC is still, we say it every week, but in almost every sport, especially football, they're the hardest conference in D3 college athletics. Say that all the time. The only game where I'm confident in points play for the rest of the season is Eau Claire, which we play in 2 weeks. And we'll be broadcasting that game as well. But this weekend they're heading over to Menominee, Wisconsin, to take on UW Stout, who's pretty solid. They're 4-2 on the year. They just came across their second loss. I believe that was to Whitewater. That was a Friday night game.
And they're still ranked.
And they are still ranked. Yeah, yep. That is true. But that is all we've got. For the 3-Point Try Campus Roundup, brought to you by Point Brewery. Thank you again, Point Brewery, for sponsoring this episode as well as this segment. And that'll move us on to the NFL update. That's right, it is back first. It's been the MLB update for the last couple of weeks, obviously because the Brewers are in the playoffs. But we're going to talk about the NFL update, starting with the Green Bay Packers. Now, obviously, they're just coming off a big victory, 27-3. They beat the Arizona Cardinals in Glendale, Arizona. And it was another stressful game. This whole last month, Brett, I feel like it's all been very stressful Packer games, except for the bye week. But yeah, it ended up in a win. And, of course, after every Packer game, there's a lot of discourse from fans alike. And I feel like, again, kind of like the Bengals, there's a lot of mix of good and bad. I would say there's more positives this game than last week. So we're going to get into it. We're going to break it down before we break into this upcoming weekend's matchup against Aaron Rodgers. But before that, we got to analyze this game. So let's start off with, in my opinion, the good. And one of the good things was Jordan Love. I feel like Again, there's always like 1 or 2 throws a game that he'll make that it's just like, I don't really get the decision there. Obviously, it's happened twice this season where he'll throw an interception on a play where it's just like, why did you throw it there? But he didn't do that in this game. He threw for 179 passing yards and had a passing touchdown. That was to Tucker Kraft. Awesome to see Tucker Kraft rolling. This was a battle of tight ends. Trey McBride, who in my opinion is the best tight end in the NFL right now. He had himself a big game. Might be a hot take, but I've actually been watching the last several Cardinals games, and nobody can stop him, including our corners. We'll get to that in a minute. But that's for the bad section. We're still in the good. Overall, though, Jordan Love had a good game, especially on that 4th and 2 play with about 2.5 minutes to go. Down 3, going for it, taking that risk, and like the confidence that LaFleur had in Love, like that was a pretty cool moment. And it was risky, it was scary, but it won us the game. Do you disagree with this decision?
Of course I disagree with the decision going for it on 4th and 2. You're in that position where it should be an automatic field goal kick. You don't get that first down, you don't win the game. You don't even tie the game.
I disagree with that, actually. Because before we had called that timeout on that play, I had said this. I was like, why did we wait and then call the timeout? I don't agree with that decision, but I agree with going for it because your defense, especially Micah Parsons, this is his game where he started to make big plays, and I feel like you could rely on him, even though the corners were playing like poop. However, if you do go for it and don't get it, even though it's a 3-point swing, let's say if you kick the field goal right there, there's still a lot of time left. And I just feel like if we did that, they would have kicked a field goal and we wouldn't have had time because we don't do great in the 2-minute drill. Jordan Love can lead us to game-winning drives like he did on that 4th down going for it and then scoring. That counts as a game-winning drive because those were the last points scored. But I just feel like in tighter duration periods, like within 2 minutes, I just feel like we're not as efficient, at least at this point in the season offensively. So I did actually like the risk, and obviously hindsight 2020, but with where we are in the future now, it's the reason why we won that game, Brett. I understand the pause. I'm going to go quickly back to some of the good things. We'll bring that back up in a moment. Yeah. Josh Jacobs, 2 rushing touchdowns on the game, and he was uncertain. We were uncertain if he'd even play it in the game. He had a calf issue, and as well as he's getting over his illness. Now, I thought I was on the side of Josh Jacobs. I feel like is almost indestructible. I don't want that to jinx us, but he works his ass off. He does. I'm gonna have to bleep that out, but it's true, and you can tell he's got so much heart and so much grit, and that he really cares for this team. Another good thing is the pass protection, in my opinion, is actually improving. It's gotten a lot better. And I now hear you've already finished that. Dang. No shame. No shame.
I'm thirsty.
Sorry, ADHD. I am very happy with how Jordan Morgan is playing. And no one's talking about it, but bro, like in his pass sets, he was anchoring down better than Rasheed Walker.
And the funny thing is that I noticed is that when they were announcing the starting lineups on the screen, it said Sean Ryan. Yeah. And he didn't play once.
He didn't play a snap.
He didn't
play a snap, and
so,
I get it. Everyone is mad at Jordan Morgan. Everyone wanted someone else. They wanted Cooper DeJean. They wanted X, Y, and Z. But obviously, we can't go back in time. He's who we have on our roster. But the fact of the matter is, this is a contract year technically for Sean Ryan, and he played bad football. I would say worse football than Jordan Morgan, because there's a reason right now why we're keep putting him at right guard and not Sean Ryan. And my last good bullet point I have to point out is Brett. Is there a kicking controversy?
It's tough because Harvesek is on the practice squad, and obviously, McManus is on the main roster. But I mean,
he hit a 61-yard field goal. That's
different.
That's the longest in Packer franchise history.
Exactly. If that was McManus, obviously you'd be like, yeah, keep McManus. But now it's the 61-yarder. It's not a 55-yarder, 50-yarder, even like a 35 chip shot field goal where it's like, oh yeah, he's gonna make this field goal. 61 got me on my toes, and he nailed it. It wasn't even like close.
He could have gone from 65.
He could have. So yeah, it's gonna be tough. I think McManus, obviously retains that with Harvesek being on the practice squad.
Yeah. Even though it's only been 2 games of the sample size, his only sample size are these 2 games for the Packers and the few games that he played for the Rams in 2023 where he did not play well. But maybe he needed this second shot. I'm not sure. I believe in what the coaches will choose, even though I don't trust Rich Bisaccia.
I think it's going to be McManus still.
I still think so, yeah.
Because it's a 3-year contract worth $15 million. That's $5 million a year for a kicker. Harvisek's probably making like $1 million. So I feel like the right decision here is just keep Harvisek obviously in the practice squad. McManus gets injured again. You bring him up. And then you have a kicker competition going into preseason next year.
Yeah.
I feel like that's reasonable.
Yep.
It keeps Harvisek, obviously employed besides substitute teaching. So if I'm Harvisek, I'm taking that any day of the week unless another team's like, hey, here's the future. We're not just going to sign you for one game and then, cut your ways.
Yeah, give him an actual contract.
So, yeah, he'll think about it. Obviously, Harvisek is on the practice squad, so other teams are allowed to, take him off of that.
Sure.
But, yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's way better than having,
It's a good problem to have.
It is.
For years, we had an issue of we didn't have a kicker, so that we have 2 now, that's pretty cool.
It still haunts me.
I know. So let's move on to the bad now because I wanted to kind of just, really quick. I do agree, Rasheed Walker. He's just very inconsistent right now. I watched the linemen more often than other people do because that's the position I played, and I've been trying to read what he struggles most with, and I can't. You can't say one thing because you could say he struggles most at anchoring, and sometimes he really does. And then sometimes he'll plant his feet, keep him chopping, and it's the guy's just trying to bull rush. Sometimes he's okay at stopping the bull rush. There was a sack that Jordan Love took in this game where he just got beat. He just straight up got beat. But also he sometimes pass that's too far out on an instep, and this just makes me think Anthony Belton needs to come back.
I don't know. He's underperforming, and I feel like he's overhyped, and he's not as good as people are saying he is.
That's fair. All right, here's the actual bad though. Nate Hobbs.
Oh gosh.
Okay. All right. Our friend Liam Stats, former sports director at 90 FM, he was on the show last year. We have a group chat where we text, and it was either last game or 2 weeks ago or whatever it was, where we texted, Nate Hobbs is a bust. And me and you defended him. We were like, bro, it's been a few games. He'll settle in. He missed all of preseason. He had an injury. He's still pretty fresh to this team. Mm-hmm. I've given him chances, and he just played a really bad game against the Cardinals.
It wasn't a bad game. It was a terrible game.
It was a really bad game. I feel like any time that a big play was made or just a regular play, whatever, anytime Jacoby Brissett threw the ball downfield, it was a guy that was open, and Nate Hobbs was supposed to be covering him.
And that goes along with Keyshawn Nixon. I feel like Nixon didn't play that well, but I think bringing in Nate Hobbs, they forced a lot upon him to make him a player that he shouldn't be. If that makes sense, right?
He mostly played slot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to go. Yep, I was going to go that way. I was going to go when he played for the Raiders, he played slot, and that's why his contract was so high. It's not Nate Hobbs himself being like, yeah, this is the money I want. It's his agent. So his agent knows how much money he should be making based off his performance, and his performance was pretty good coming off of a great year in Las Vegas.
But it wasn't because he only played, I think, 5 games.
Well, yeah,
so
but
he had flashes, but he was never consistent with his play due to his injuries, not because of poor play.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. It's like,
sure,
okay, well, he played decent when he played up to Packers standards, so obviously signed him for that contract. So when it came to that point that he was going to play the outside instead of Carrington Valentine, which I don't know. Valentine, it's tough over there because Valentine gives up big plays, but he's also more exciting. I feel like he's got more potential. He's got more uprise, obviously. And he shows the flashes. I feel like I just haven't seen anything out of Nate Hobbs.
That's fair, and that's what I was going to say because I think it's funny. People were ripping Valentine to shreds in the Cowboys game, but now this week everyone wants him to play cornerback too. And my thing with Valentine is he's inconsistent, but I'm okay with inconsistency because A, he's so young, but B, he was a 7th-round pick.
Well, yeah, and then it just makes me a little bit confused. It's like, okay, why are we not giving Bo Melton just a chance? Because he hasn't played regular season defensive snaps at all.
I think he's played 2.
Maybe 2.
But yeah.
But you know what I mean. I feel like he's done more in offense, obviously.
We've been saying it since the preseason, Brett. There would be a potential issue with cornerback depth.
Yes.
And even though Micah Parsons has definitely helped that out a lot, those weaknesses are starting to show. And I would say the one weakness that's toughest to fix is the cornerback room. And I believe the free agency deadline and the trade deadline, it's going to come up for us. I think we are going to select a corner. This isn't going up unnoticed. I mean, today in Matt LaFleur's press conference, he literally acknowledged that Nate Hobbs didn't have a good game. And in his response to Valentine playing up for him, he said Nate Hobbs will bounce back. If he doesn't bounce back, obviously LaFleur's going to say that because he's the head coach. That's his guy. But if he doesn't bounce back, Goody's no scrub. He's going to look for something.
Yep. I feel like one of the big reasons that's going unknown to why Micah Parsons got 3 sacks, Lucas Van Ness didn't play.
Oh, whoa. I thought you were going to say because finally, they called a holding penalty on Micah Parsons.
That's true.
Which scared the team not to do it. And what happened? He get 3 sacks. See, like people, okay, I'm ranting now. People go like, oh, that's an excuse. That's an excuse for the holding. The one time they called it, 3-sack game, 4 TFLs. How many quarterback hits? I had it early in the script. 5. All on like 21 pass rushing snaps. Mm-hmm. Like, bro is a dog.
Yeah.
Stop it.
So I was just no, you're good. I was just talking about Lucas Van Ness. I mean, he's been playing, I feel like, better this season.
Yeah.
Do you think you use him as trade capital? Because all right,
yes.
Think about it. Because
for sure.
Do you really need Lucas Van Ness on this team? I mean, you move Micah Parsons inside, but there's a reason also that they drafted Barron Sorrell. Because I feel like I see a lot of potential in Barron Sorrell.
I do.
So it's like, do we really need Lucas Van Ness for the future where, okay, let's start involving him in trade stuff, and then we can possibly get a corner out of it. Or even move him to get more draft capital for, the upcoming draft. Because right now, obviously you don't have first-round draft picks for the next couple of years because of the Micah deal. Could you use Lucas Van Ness to get some draft capital, bring in a corner from free agency, and then you have those draft picks able to select a corner in the future drafts?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it'd be a better balance on our team because right now we don't have an excess of pass rushers, but we could spare to lose a Kingsley Enagbare or a Lucas Van Ness.
That's what I was just going to say.
So
I
agree with that because
there's
our corners,
been a lot.
we have, I would say our best corner is Keyshawn Nixon, and we've already addressed it. I don't think that's crazy to say. But we need another guy. We need one more guy at least. So that's what I've got for that. Also, I'll just mention it quick because we've already talked about this game a lot. The first half play calling and overall the play calling from Matt LaFleur is still very suspect to me. That 1 third down early in the game where we went 3 and out, we did a very obvious end around or like an outside run to Emmanuel Wilson. And I'm just, bro, give Love the ball. We've seen it now. He's already had like a game-tying drive this season in overtime, which was botched mostly by LaFleur, that we almost lost, but we didn't. We just had a game-winning drive from Love in this game. Like, he can play. Mm-hmm. Like, he can throw it. Will he make mistakes sometimes? Absolutely. But what NFL quarterback doesn't? He is better than these weird conservative play calls that are reminding me a lot of Mike McCarthy. And I just feel like LaFleur is kind of hurting himself, hurting Love. And I love LaFleur, and I defend him. And he's the one that made that 4th and 2 call late in the game. But I loved that call because it's the opposite of these weird conservative calls, but also like it's just inconsistent when he chooses to be aggressive and when to be conservative. Outside of that, not really much else from the Packers. That obviously this Sunday night, they're heading over to Pittsburgh to play the Steelers, helmed by Aaron Rodgers. This will be his first time playing his former team in the Packers. It is going to be a tough game, but, I mean, they lost to the Bengals on Thursday Night Football to Joe Flacco, and that defense, I have a little bit more confidence now. The Steelers are going to be tough. Aaron Rodgers is still going to make some great throws, but we got to stop Jaylen Warren. That's my keys to win. Stop Jaylen Warren. Rely on the run game when it's key to us. So like when we see that coverage, like, oh, okay, this box isn't lined up, or they don't expect a run, or we got to still use Josh Jacobs, but also I think this will be Christian Watson's first game back.
You think so?
I think it might be, and if not, it's going to be the week after. But I'm excited. Hold on, I'm going to put on this cheese head, and once I put it on, I will see the final score. Really? Okay. Final score, Packers win 31-29. That'll move us on to Around the NFL. Brett, do you want to talk about the first game I've got listed on here, this is nuts. This was nuts.
So for me, I'm a big Jackson Dart guy. You know, I like to keep the money flipping like usual.
Oh, my gosh.
He's my guy, him and Scattaboo. I don't want to do the hot mic here.
Woo! Oh, yeah,
That's my guy. But yeah, Cam Scattaboo and Malik Neighbors and Brian Burns. Like, this Giants team is fun. I've always mentioned, maybe not on the show, but I mean on Attack the Mac, I mentioned it, and like with my friends, it's really fun to watch them. And obviously they are. Obviously with no Malik Neighbors now, obviously like it's just not as eventful, but still fun team to watch. And they're young and got a lot of potential, but. The game they played against the Broncos yesterday was just ugly. Jackson Dart, I mean, it wasn't necessarily all of his fault, but it's mostly the defense and the play calling, and especially the defensive coordinator. There's no reason.
What was the game? What game are you talking about?
The New York Giants at the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos ended up scoring 33. All 33 of their points in the fourth quarter and won it. It looked like it was all Giants. The Giants were running all over them. Cam Scattaboo had a great game once again, but just the performance after they were playing good, it was just terrible. I mean, Jackson Dart, he had one interception, but it was the defense.
There was at one point the Broncos had like a 1% chance of winning, but like
Nick's played out of his mind.
I mean, that's the first time I think in NFL history where all four of a quarterback's touchdowns came in the fourth quarter. 33 points in the fourth quarter. That is 1 point short of the record, which the Lions got in 2007. That's kind of crazy. I just cannot believe that game. Like to be a Giants fan, like the Giants look like a good team, and then they'll lose to the Saints, and then they'll lose a devastating game to the Broncos. And their kicker, he missed an extra point early on in the game, and then he missed another one on a touchdown in the final minute. And if he made that extra point, the Broncos would need a field goal to tie it. But because of him missing that, the Broncos just needed a field goal to win the game. Yeah. I mean, it is crazy, and obviously. Mostly the defense's fault, but also Jackson Dart throwing that really bad interception to that linebacker, like with 7 minutes left in the game. Like, there's a lot of reasons why that happened. But I watched the highlights. Like, the first touchdown the Broncos scored, it went off the hands of one receiver and into the hands of another. And then, like, a drive later, the Giants. Jackson Dart throws to a guy, goes off his hands, going the other way. Theo Jackson, the tight end, grabs it, runs for a touchdown. Like this game was so good. Like that game just makes me love football even more.
And the thing about this year, I mean, we can talk about it at the end, but we don't have to mention it right now. But I was just gonna say this: that you don't know who's gonna win it. You don't. I have no clue. You know who the bad teams are. The Commanders are not going to be good. They're not good this year.
Their defense is rough.
Yeah, they're the Commanders, and without Jaden Daniels, the Raiders are even worse. The Jets are even worse.
Yeah, you mentioned the Commanders. The Cowboys' offense. CeeDee Lamb returned, and they destroyed Washington. Yeah. You mentioned the bad teams. The Dolphins got whooped by the Browns. Yeah. And, I mean, even though they beat us, like, that was with Joe Flacco. Clearly the best quarterback of all time. But Tua looks terrible. And I've been saying this for 3 years. Tua is not going to win you important games, but now we're at the point where he sells. Like, he was playing really bad. And the Browns' defense is good, but those interceptions were really bad.
I'm just going to say the Chiefs, if the playoffs started today, the Chiefs would not be in the playoffs.
Is that true?
That is true.
I will say, though, the Chiefs look good.
They do.
They look good.
But no, I think a quarterback change needs to happen. I also think a head coach change needs to happen in Miami. I feel like it's like Mike McDaniel. Did you see the after?
He sucks. I've been saying this. After 2022, I'm like, this dude cannot.
I think that they need to go with an older head coach because I'm thinking. Yeah. I don't know. I just don't know who they would pick up, but there's got to be. It's tough, but we'll see. But yeah, there's a lot of bad teams this year, but there's also a lot of good teams where you look at the playoffs. I mean, look at the playoffs. Like NFC, if it ended today, it'd be the Bucks, then Packers
are the second seed.
But all these teams in the playoffs all have 2 losses for the NFC and then AFC, the Chargers.
It's early. It's very early.
It is very early, but I feel like it's really going to come down to the wire. I feel like there's not going to be one team that runs away with it. I think the Colts, I think that they just barely make the playoffs. I think
the Colts are going to water down?
I think they're going to water down by the end of the season. Daniel Jones is going to I feel like he's just going to have his second half woes, and then Anthony Richardson's going to come back. And that's my prediction. And ready?
This is where I see crazy, so you never know.
This is where I just see that Daniel Jones is not going to be able to do a full season. Maybe he will. He can prove me wrong, and he has been proving me wrong for the first 7 games. But the way that the Colts are designed, besides Jonathan Taylor, I think Jonathan Taylor, we were talking about in the group
best
chat.
running back in football.
Best running back in football. He's awesome. I love Jonathan Taylor. Always have, always will. But I feel like it's Daniel Jones. Let's be honest. You were a top draft pick that got.
Like the 2022 Giants were able to go to the playoffs with Daniel Jones, and that team was just Saquon Barkley. But now Daniel Jones has this support system where, I didn't expect the Colts to do this because I also thought they got rid of several guys from their offensive line, both to the Vikings. Their offensive line looks better than last year. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Taylor, obviously phenomenal. But Daniel Jones has no shortage of receivers. You have Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs. Adonai Mitchell sucks, so we don't need to talk about him. But now he's Tyler Warren. Like, this offense is kind of, like, I never predicted it, but they're kind of scary. The Colts are good, man. So
I just don't see it. I think Daniel Jones is going to sell.
I wouldn't have disagreed with you a month ago, but 7 weeks in, they look like arguably the best team in the AFC. Might be the best team in football.
I still think the Patriots and the Broncos. I think the Broncos.
The thing about, the Patriots look good. But I think their defense, you take away a couple players, I don't know.
I think at the end of the day, whoever's going to the Super Bowl, it's going to be either the Bucs, the Packers, the Eagles, or the Rams.
The NBA update really quick. The Milwaukee Bucks are heading back. We're finally coming back to basketball. It starts this Wednesday, October 22nd. So it'll have already happened. Home opener against the Wizards. So Chris Middleton on the Wizards is having his homecoming, his reunion to the Bucks.
I'm sorry, Jacob. There's 2 breaking NFL news that we gotta talk about.
Right now?
Yeah, right now.
Okay, breaking news.
Tyler Lockett has asked and received his release from the Titans.
He got cut,
yep,
or did
he got cut?
Walked?
He's done with the Titans, so he'll be going somewhere else. And Brandon Graham is expected to announce tomorrow that he's coming out of retirement to join the Eagles.
Oh my gosh.
I know. So no, Tyler Lockett.
Boo. Okay. Tyler Lockett, a Seahawks fan, knew this. I have a couple Seahawks fans, friends. Tyler Lockett's getting washed, and where do you go when you're a washed wide receiver? You go to Tennessee. And I think I said this 3 weeks ago on the show. I hadn't heard a single thing about him all year, except when he recovered a fluke touchdown in their one win against the Cardinals. But, he's probably done. And that's cool for Brandon Graham, but I just feel like he's not really going to do much. Losing Zadarius Smith was actually kind of a loss, in my opinion, and their pass
He played good, yeah. That's crazy. But, I just thought I would say that really quickly.
No, that's good. Back to the Bucs really quick. First game at home against the Raptors, and then this Friday against the Wizards. And then on Friday they're heading to Toronto to play the Raptors. Then they got the Cavs and the Knicks after that, so they got some tougher Eastern opponents after the Wizards and the Raptors. But we'll see how the Bucs start. I'm very excited for their first game on Wednesday night. It would have already happened by the time this episode premieres. Quickly also to the speed run, college football. Iowa beats Penn State. Louisville upset number 2 ranked Miami. That's crazy. I know you're a Louisville guy.
Yes, sir.
Vandy upsets LSU 31-24, and now Vanderbilt is ranked top 10. They're ranked number 10th. I cannot believe we're living in this universe right now in college football. And, of course, the Badgers got shut out at home for the second straight week in a row by Ohio State. 34-0 was that score. I really don't get why Luke Fickell is still in. I think the current athletic director for the Badgers had a note today, said something. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
and
they gotta
fire him. I don't even know why he's still on the team. Also, MLB update. As of recording, Game 7 of the ALCS has not been played between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Seattle Mariners. I believe the Mariners will win. That's my prediction, even though it's in Toronto.
They had it. They had their chance. I think the Mariners are done.
You think the Mariners are done?
It's going to be Blue Jays, and the Dodgers are going to sweep them.
Either way, I was going to say, whoever it is who comes out of the American League, whether it is Seattle, and it would be their first World Series appearance, or if it is Toronto, their first one since the 90s, they're either losing in 4 or 5 to the Dodgers. I just don't see just the way they absolutely handled the Brewers. I just really don't see how they don't win. They have the all-around the best roster. It's going to be such a boring World Series again. I'm not going to hide the fact that I'm not excited to see it. I know we talk about all sports things, but I mean, they're like great teams can be fun to watch, but like you want it to be competitive.
Yeah.
And last year's World Series, I had people telling me, even some that were on the show last year, like this World Series is going to be great, and I was like, it's two of the biggest markets in sports. It's New York.
I'm so tired.
And
of it.
LA. LA's back, and that sucks. But it would be cool if like Seattle made it because they've never been. But either way, the Dodgers are going to win, and fans will be happy. I mean, I'm not going to watch it, so I don't really care.
Disappointed. I really am. There's so much potential for a lot of better options. I'm not saying that as a Brewers fan. I'm just saying in general.
As a baseball fan?
Just a baseball fan in general. Like it's tough because even I'd rather want to see like just to even see the Phillies, like the Phillies in it, better than the Dodgers. I feel like the Phillies are underperformed.
It's crazy. The Dodgers have only lost one game in this entire postseason. They swept Cincinnati in the wild card. Then they went on to play. They played the Phillies, and they only that was their one loss, and they swept the Brewers. Oh my gosh. Anyway, whatever. That's crap. Liam Stats predicts that baseball won't be played in 2027, and I don't blame him. But obviously, big upcoming week. The Bucks are coming back. We're excited to talk about them again. The Packers playing Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Lots of exciting things. Thank you for joining us. And really quick tease. Next week is the Halloween episode. We're going to be dressed up. Brett might die again. Who knows? I'm going to be dressed up. Liam's going to be dressed up. Thank you to Liam Sheen helping out for this one, doing all the stuff you do in pre- and post-production. But that is all we've got for today's episode of SportsPoint. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Okay.